I believe every person has gifts and is destined for greatness, and the world needs to know those gifts. Find ways to explore your gifts and let the world know how your messages can change the world.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, John Ruman. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful morning?
And Joe, I'm doing amazing. I'm absolutely already had a phenomenal morning, feeling great. I am super psyched to be here, honored to spend time with you this morning.
Well, it's such a great pleasure when I have someone that's right in the country, as well as when I meet someone first and then get to interview them, which are the both things that happen with you. You are in Trinidad, my friend.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I moved here 4 years ago, originally from the States, and married a Trini, moved down here within months, and couldn't be happier. So it was awesome to meet you.
That's wonderful. Well, yeah, let's dig into that. Which of your talents is responsible or was responsible for us connecting at that specific time in history?
Well, we met primarily because it was a LinkedIn event, and I had the opportunity I got invited from one of the hosts to attend, and I love meeting new people and connecting them with each other. I do coaching and consulting and training and such, and I try to, in those events, make it all about other people. And also, selfishly, I love to learn. So people such as yourselves were presenting that day. So I took that as John time. And then the networking aspect was for me to help others connect with other people as much as I could.
It was super fun. Like it felt as though all the focus was on me when you were speaking to me, which is something that I always treasure when an individual isn't selling. You know, there's a type of like selling that can go on at these events, but you came full forward into the conversation and shared so much that I've learned. Who did you learn that ability from, that sharing capacity?
I learned that from a business partner, a guy named Roger Moore, who is another local Trini, and he and I actually run a sales company together, but he actually brought that aspect to the table, which is basically a framework of when you network, most people like to, as you say, sell, sell, sell. Instead, if you can genuinely connect with another person, if there's something there, it will be followed up on later. But because people focus on the sell, it naturally pushes people away from you. So I learned that from Roger locally, and we do that when we train companies.
Why will you continue to be that guy that does that?
Why? Because for me, life is all about who you know, but I have learned over time that serving is where it's at. So if I can help others to be more confident in those are usually very uncomfortable situations for people,
Hmm.
but also it's very, for me, it feels very good to help others kind of overcome those obstacles they emotionally feel within.
Hmm. Now, your strength in coaching is from the perspective of financial and educational. How has that been going?
I actually shifted. So that was what I originally did in the States. So I did do business related stuff on the financial side before, but now I really delve into the core of businesses. So it has been going well, and that's actually where I'm focusing now. So most of my time is either training companies in various things or actually consulting businesses to take them to the next step. So it's really been going well, and what's really helped me to be getting better and better from a skill set perspective is I actually like live in books and online courses and podcasts like yours, and basically get connected from these great minds, and actually like London Real that we mentioned earlier,
Hmm.
and actually become in contact with these people who can really help us grow and learn.
Yeah, John introduced me to London Real. I was introduced to it before, dove in a bit, and I was working. And then I got into it and really had a great interview by Stephen Jenkinson, transformed my life. So, yeah, it's like the way you bring value, right, in a conversation is so powerful. Where's the best place for someone that's listening to connect with you?
Probably the easiest is my website, which is just johnruman, JOHNRUMAN.com. And then from there, all of the links will be on the top and the bottom of the pages. If you want to get really connected with me, I have a private Facebook group, and you can get to there from there.
Tell us one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
What have I done? I have constantly been learning. And for me, that I have something called Can I, which is I borrowed from Tony Robbins, for those who know Tony Robbins, which is the concept of constant and never ending improvement. So at any one time, I am reading 3 or 4 books. Like right now, I'm taking a course on sleep. I'm taking a coaching course by someone, a whole bunch of stuff like that. Because if I can learn what these brilliant people have done, it enables me to help others in a better way.
How does it make you feel?
For me, it makes me feel that there's constant possibility and that I'm able to really add value in people's lives because I am learning from the world's greatest.
Why would you suggest other people that are listening do what you've done?
Once you get started, it becomes addictive. A lot of people live watching TV, YouTube in a non-productive way. They kind of spend hours doing that. I would encourage people to shift what they do now to something like that with whatever they're passionate about so that they can give the world what the world needs from them. Because I truly believe everyone has a gift. And once people really become honed in their expression of it, the world will really benefit from what that person has.
Amazing audience. Again, you're hearing it live from John Ruman. You can connect with him at johnruman.com. John, let's switch gears for a moment. Now, let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water.
Love it.
Like Maracas Bay. John, what's your earliest childhood memory?
My earliest childhood memory is I lived in the States. I was about 3 years old. We lived in the state of Virginia in a southern mansion. We rented it for whatever reason. And there was a self-playing piano. You take these cards, actually, no, there was a roll, and it would play music. And what was so fascinating about it is this house. So behind this self-playing piano, there was a staircase that went to like a secret part of the house, kind of like you see in movies and such. And during the Civil War in the US, that was used as a hospital. So it was a really wild place to experience.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
Because as kids, we're all about like finding new stuff and being playful and kind of exploring life because kids are always learning and just everything is new. When you go in a place that feels so different from every place you've ever been, and there were literally like these hidden passageways and all that, it really impacted me because it just felt like a playful exploration in this random cool house that a lot of people would see in movies, but we lived in.
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today when you look at it metaphorically?
That's a good question. How do I see that connecting? I love exploring new things. Actually, that's a great question. Because my life, I love to dig in and go deep on topics. So that exploration of these passageways in the house totally correlates with my desire to just learn and become better on virtually every topic in life.
Love it. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that
Sure.
memory? I love the concept of automating things that can still be beautiful while you explore other spaces. So the way that opens other spaces. Again, the piano being automated with a roll, but behind that, there's an entire new world. So that's going on while there are other things that can go on as well.
Nice. I love it.
If we fast forward to when you were 12, what was your favorite song?
I loved these hair bands, and actually I had long hair. And my favorite band at the time was a band called Motley Crue, and they had a fun kind of song called Kickstart Your Heart, and I played it hours a day.
I love it.
That song, it made me very fired up, and I just really liked it.
Love it. Kickstart my heart, Motley Crue. All right,
Kickstart my
my
heart.
friend. Well, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yep.
John, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
No, because I want the world to benefit from what I have to give, not one person.
Are you married?
I am, no children.
All right. Do you believe in God?
Very much so. Deeply spiritual, non-religious.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I very much so, and I highly, highly curate the people who I surround myself with.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
I do not own a TV, and I don't watch a spot of TV at all.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
It's 2 hours a day, easily outside of work time. So it's actually a lot if you include work.
If you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, John Ruman, what would you say that is?
I believe every person has gifts and is destined for greatness, and the world needs to know those gifts. So I would say I would like everyone who listens to this podcast and connects with this message to find ways to explore your gifts and let the world know how your messages can change the world.
Love it. John, this has been such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I would like to say thank you guys for supporting Angel on his major world-changing podcast, and watch the magical future he helps the world with by these small little incremental invaluable bites of information you get from all of his amazing guests.
Love it. John, again, a pleasure. I treasure. Thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.